So I was very interested in digging a little deeper, and I really wanted to get to the root of why many Jewish people grew up to become global readers and thinkers. And it seems like their early reading practice gave them the tools to understand the world. And after looking into this, it says here that early childhood, from ages 3 to 6, what they do is they start with the Shema Yisrael, words from the Bible. So I'm speaking with your Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord is one. So I guess they start with a prayer, which I still am not aware of yet, or a simple blessing, a short prayers for food, waking up, going to sleep. So I guess this is a habitual prayer that they practice. And then they also do alphabet and reading Hebrew. Children are introduced to the Hebrew alphabet and begin sounding out words from the Torah. Okay. And then the next stage is their elementary years, ages 6 to 12. They have the weekly parasha, the Torah portion, each week. I don't know what they are, actually. I'm just like reading out of my research here. They study and often memorize parts of the weekly Torah reading, and then they do the 10 Commandments, often memorized in Hebrew, and then the Psalms and Proverbs reading, selected passages for moral and spiritual guidance. So the goal here during the ages of 6 to 12 is that it deepens literacy in Hebrew, strengthen memory skills, and connect moral lessons to daily lessons. That's the goal during this age. And then preteen would be from age 12 to 13. That's the bar mitzvah age. And to prepare for their bar mitzvah, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this correctly, boys, and in many communities, girls too, they learn to chant from the Torah and or the Haftarah. And this involves memorizing large portions with cantillation, melodic chanting marks. And then there's prayers, mastery of major prayers like the Amida, Alenu, Kaddish. And the goal is to take on adult religious responsibilities and public reading in synagogue. That's the goal. And then the next stage is teen to adulthood, age 13 to 18 and beyond. During this stage, they do a deeper Torah study, more advanced memorization of longer Torah passages. Mishnah, the first major written collection of Jewish oral law around 200 CE, and then Talmud. In tradition, yeshiva settings involves memorizing discussions and debates about Jewish law and ethics. Wow, Jewish people can become priests if they memorize the entire Bible. I'm not sure if they do. Commentaries, Rashi, Rambam, others often recited or studied intensively. And the goal here is develop critical thinking, logic, and debate skills alongside memorization. I see that all these stages does include memorization. I bet Jewish people apply this before we skills then. Okay, so in short, to just summarize the stages that I just mentioned, young children, they start with short prayers and blessings, daily habitual blessings. School-age children move into Torah portions, Psalms, Proverbs, and Hebrew literacy. Preteen master large Torah sections for their bar mitzvah. And then teens and adults continue with Mishnah, Talmud, and deeper Torah commentary, which I have no idea what they are right now. Okay, so this layered progression makes memorization not just about memory, but about discipline, analysis, and lifelong engagement with text, which is why it strongly influences academic and intellectual development. And here, I did a little more research, and why memorizing the Bible, why this works as an experiment, is because memory and discipline. Memorizing passages builds focus, long-term memory, and mental stamina, skills that carry over into math, writing, and reading comprehension. So I'm still debating whether doing this with my daughter, who is still 7. I know Jewish kids start from age 3, but I thought maybe I should start reading and memorizing the Bible with my daughter and see if it does affect her academically and help her with her memorization skills, because these days kids who live in the city, they're so caught up with huge amount of workload and homework, and a lot of them are very stressed out in certain cities, in Seoul, I mean all over the world. I think they're pressured to meet a certain expectation. So maybe practicing memorizing the Bible from a young age might help them to just be more comfortable and aware of what they're learning and feel less stressed. I'm not sure how that would relate to the stress level here, but it also helps with language development. The Bible, whether you read it in English, Korean, or Japanese, or French, or in any other language, introduces rhythm, structure, and advanced vocabulary that sharpen literacy. When I actually was looking into Bibles, I wanted a new one for myself, and I wanted to get my daughter one. I realized there are different types of Bibles, and then that there's like also an easy version, and then there's a Bible for kids as well. So I guess there's like a level. They could finish reading the Bible or start reading the easier ones and then get into the, what are they called? The New James.
New King James.
New King James. That
James.
That one's easier to read.
No.
Oh, that's the difficult one.
Yeah, difficult.
Apparently now there's the easier one.
NIV.
That's the easier, comfortable for all levels. I think that was grade 3 or 4, like elementary level kids can also read that with not much difficulty. Also, cultural and global dimension. The Bible is a text studied across the world, so your channel could naturally link local practice to global learning traditions. Now, I thought about how I can practice this Bible reading, Bible memorizing with my young daughter. So what I have started to do with her is I'm just starting from Genesis, because she's just new to the Bible. She wants to know how everything was created. So I decided to start from Genesis. So I would pick short rhythmic passages. I was recommended to start from Psalm, Proverbs, or famous parables. For now, we just started, so we started with Genesis. A daily ritual, 5 to 10 minutes max, each morning or before we go to bed. But I think morning works better, like before we have breakfast. That's a better routine for me because I work. And reading it out loud, and then I have my daughter, we read it first together, and then I have her listen to me, and she repeats after me. And then I tell her, like, this would be your reading for the day, and try to memorize just one verse every day, every morning. Integration. After memorizing, my daughter, she wants me to continue reading. She does get curious about, oh, what happens next? You know, and then and she would ask questions. We're still reading the Genesis part, the very beginning with Adam and Eve, and then she's just curious to like asking me, oh, is that why people die? You know, is it because Eve ate the apple? So reading the Bible, I noticed that it does arouse questions. She just kept throwing questions after questions that I had to stop her because we had to continue reading. You know, I said, we'll figure it out. You'll learn more later as we read the Bible. So it arouses question. I think that was really good. It's very engaging. You can start a conversation with your child. And then, so then she wouldn't feel like she's supposed to memorize the entire thing, but she'll have a background information about the Bible, and she can somehow link it to our life, like death and birth, you know. And I guess we can track our progress. What I told my daughter is that she likes these stationery, so she can put cute little post-its on the pages that she's done with. I do not allow her to highlight in the Bible though. Not yet, yeah. And I'm still not at the stage where I can actually see if her focus has improved academically, because I think she's still growing up, and she is inputting a lot in her brains right now with her other academics. But I'm not sure, like sometimes my child cannot focus, or she can't sit down for a long period of time. So I really wanted to start doing this every morning and see if it allows her to build her focus when she's studying. So I feel like it also keeps me disciplined, because if I don't do it, she probably won't do it. But I'm pretty proud of her. Even those days when I was tired, she would beg me to read a couple lines, and so I think it's good to keep it going. And I myself also had questions reading the Bible and wanted to know more. And because I also teach science, even though I do teach science, I mean, I always did believe in God and there was a higher being, and kids would ask me about aliens and UFOs. And for those students who have parents who don't believe or who don't go to church, I would just tell them that still I believe that, you know, God created the entire universe, which includes other solar systems, right? And there could be other extraterrestrial beings in other solar systems. So yeah, it does make sense. Maybe God did create all the aliens out there too that we haven't met. So I somehow try to link that sci-fi alien topic with God like this. I still have, as myself teaching science, I still have a lot of questions. So I think it's important that I do start reading the Bible again. I did read the Bible when I was young and had Bible studies, but then as I, you know, life, I get busy, I forgot a lot of the things that I studied. Also, through reading the Bible, I guess you can make global connection. I'm able to compare my daughter's experience with stories of Jewish, Christian, or even Muslim kids. And sometimes these stories can be shocking to my daughter because she hasn't seen it, living in Asia, in a bustling city, modern city, and trying to imagine what her life would have been like back in the days, you know. She was like, we were reading this book about where Jesus was born and how he was born in a barn, and she was like so shocked to find out he was born in the barn. Like, it's not even possible. Yes. And then I went on telling her about, do you know why mommies have to go through all that pain giving birth to you guys? It's because, you know, when Eve had that bite of apple, that's when God decided that women have to bear through that pain when we give birth to children. I mean, if only she didn't eat the apple, we would all be perfect and wrinkle-free, right? Is what we were talking about, yeah. Oh, well, I was home one day. I was doing my facial anti-wrinkle pack, and then my daughter comes up to me and she's like, oh, mommy, so if only Eve didn't eat the apple, you wouldn't have to put that on every night, right? And I was like, yeah, it's all because of Eve, huh? I'm not trying to blame everything on her, you know, but I guess that is where it all started, right? She would be like, if only she didn't eat the apple, we would all never die or be sick. And I was like, I guess. But then I guess we have to continue reading. I'm sure there's more to it, right, viewers? I'm sure there are many of you who have read the Bible more than I have. So, but these things are very interesting, how kids can link that and relate that to their daily life today. I just feel bad for Eve. Anyways, that's it for today, and I will update you on how my reading and reading the Bible, I will share my progress with you of my reading, my individual reading with my daughter, with you, and share more fun stories with you later on.